Some of the most popular products to dropship are actually the worst products you should be dropshipping. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what products to avoid when doing AliExpress dropshipping. What's going on, y'all? I'm Braden Wuerch. I'm here to provide insane value to you guys to grow you personally and financially as well. All right, guys, so one of the biggest mistakes I've been seeing through consultation calls, through my students, through some of my friends in this space, are the products that they're actually trying to dropship. And some products that you might actually think are great for dropshipping from AliExpress are actually some of the worst products you can dropship, whether that be in the short term or the long term. And frankly, I've seen a lot of people come and go in this space, and a lot of it has to do with how they're doing product testing and the actual products that they're trying to dropship. So today, I want to go ahead and tell you some products that you should at least consider avoiding when doing product testing, or even just dropshipping outright. That way it can go ahead and save you guys a lot of time and a lot of money. And then frankly, I want to get into how to actually go through testing to go ahead and make your lives a whole lot easier. But before you get into it, make sure to go ahead and do me a favor, smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment down below. What's a product type that you absolutely can't stand when you see other people in the dropshipping space going ahead and testing and trying to make money with those type of products? All right, so the first one, this is probably the biggest one that I see all of the time. This is one that literally almost on a daily basis, for sure on a weekly basis, I have people doing consultation calls with me trying to figure out why they can't get profitable even though they're doing great sales. Great sales numbers are very, very low price products. So if you haven't already seen my pricing strategy video on YouTube, I definitely recommend you go check it out. Pricing strategy is actually very important. One, because you don't want to go ahead and have the price too high. Because if you have it too high before you start testing the market, you're never going to find out whether you've got a decent or winning product, just because you're going to have customers completely overlook it. And you'll think it's the product's fault when actually it's the price's fault. But that's kind of besides the point. Having too low of a price will actually make your margins too low. I knew a guy that was doing hundreds of orders, many orders a day, and he just barely was making any money. His margins were very, very small. And selling these kind of trinket types, especially through Facebook marketing, and they're priced low, you've got to do an insane volume play to actually make those profitable. So good example of these would be cheap necklaces, earrings, rings, a lot of the jewelry types. Most of the time, these are really, really hard to actually have good margins off of. Now, there's ways to go ahead and do it, but this is where branding really comes into, where you can go ahead and really have a high price. What the problem is with these kind of lower price, cheap products is you've got a lot of competition out there with other people marketing and drop shipping the same things, that it just drives the prices down low. The only thing you can do to stand out and have higher prices with these really, really cheap, low-cost items is having that brand set up. And if you've got that good brand, then yes, you can somewhat make these work. I had a consultation call with someone not too long ago that they were selling these type of products, and because they had gone through things right, one with branding, but now they're getting into white labeling and private labeling, they're able to command a lot higher prices. So if you're going the route of the really, really cheap products, you need to be very careful and conscientious to go ahead and figure out a way to command more prices, and you're going to have to get pretty creative to go ahead and do that. But that's why I caution you staying away from just drop shipping very, very cheap, essentially Chinese crap. You want to go ahead and actually have good quality products, and products that you can have a bit higher price. Just a good rule of thumb, if I can't have the price over $12, I'm going to be very apprehensive about marketing it, just because my margins are going to be so small when I actually have advertising costs connected to it, everything like that. So I am very cautious when trying to drop ship anything lower than $12. I'm not saying I won't do it, but it is very rare for me to go ahead and do it. All right, so number two, This is not as popular now, but I still see some people doing it just because of some older YouTube videos from many people out there. But that's drop shipping things in very, very specific animal niches. Now, I'm not saying this doesn't work. If you've got the right store setup, say you've got, somewhat like a PetSmart or Petco type store or brand, you can actually make this work. But one thing I was seeing a lot of people doing because of, a lot of YouTube videos from a year or even longer than a year ago, was it was very popular to go ahead and choose a passionate niche. And there's a great example of a passionate niche is actually choosing a very specific dog breed. So take the Boston Terrier breed. You're going to find Boston Terrier type products, whether those are Boston Terrier shirts, Boston Terrier rings, whatever, and you're going to go ahead and market those. So first off, a lot of times this gets into, the same thing what we just talked about, where you've got these cheaper price products. I see all the time people trying to do influencer shout outs with a dog ring or some type of animal ring. Guys, this is not how drop shipping, this is not how you're going to get to those massive mega numbers by doing stuff like that. But then too, the other big thing, what happens is when you have these really, really passionate audiences are great to essentially, make quite a bit of money really quick. You'll make good money really quick. But if you've got too small of a passionate niche, you're going to max out your audience. So let's say that you're in, a specific dog breed, and you're going ahead and you're marketing to the United States for that specific dog breed. It's easy to go ahead and find the right demographics, find the right targeting for that using Facebook ads or Google AdWords or whatever marketing system you're using. It's easy to find that, but it's really easy to max out those audiences really, really quickly. This is why I prefer to take advantage of the 7 billion people worldwide, find niches and products that have very, very large global demand, but still fitting within a certain somewhat passionate niche. I still like to play on passionate niches, but I like my passionate niches to be massive and have massive global demand. And so that's one thing I want to caution you for. I'm not specifically saying animal products. I'm saying things that have too small of a passionate audience that you'll max out very, very quickly. All right, so number 3, this one used to be so popular back in the day, and I still see a lot of people going this route, free plus shipping. And so I don't want you guys to think that I'm saying free plus shipping doesn't work. It can still work, but I want you guys to be conscious if you're going that route, to go the free plus shipping route. I want you to look, all over. Look in your niche. Let's say you're in the apparel niche. I want you to look at big name apparel brands. Do you see big name apparel brands doing gimmicky practices like free plus shipping? And free plus shipping is a gimmicky practice. I'm not saying you can't make money on it. You can, but this is very short-term thinking. If you want to have the long-term big sales or potentially sell your brand for quite a bit of money, you need to avoid gimmicky practices. And frankly, free plus shipping doesn't work like it used to work back in the day. Back in the day, it did work. Now, customers are viewing it as pretty gimmicky. It's not a practice that is really going forward with a long-term brand professional mindset. This is not a professional mindset to have, and so I caution you to stay away from free plus shipping. I know some of you love free plus shipping and you're always going to do free plus shipping. I know that. So for you guys, just go forward doing your thing. But if you guys are getting into this game and you've heard about the whole free plus shipping thing, I caution you that this mindset can and most likely will hurt your brand long term. This is not coming at it with a brand mindset. So be careful with free plus shipping. Just know it is somewhat gimmicky. All right, so number 4, this is an important one. I've seen quite a few people get in trouble or at least get threatened to be in trouble. And at a minimum, essentially the brand, it takes a big hit because of this, and that's trademarked items. So just because something's on AliExpress doesn't mean it's necessarily okay for you to drop ship. AliExpress and China as a whole, Alibaba, DHgate, all of these, they've got a lot of products that frankly are trademarked, but China doesn't really care. They don't have the same laws like we do. And essentially, if you go ahead and you drop ship something from one of these places, one of these Chinese vendors that's trademarked, you can get in trouble for this. So, you can get everything from a cease and desist letter to where you can't sell those products, to Shopify shutting you down, to even potentially worse, where you get, lawsuits or anything like that. So just be very careful not to drop ship anything that's trademarked that you don't have permission for. If you've got permission to drop ship a trademarked item, great, but just be very careful. So this is where, I'm asked, well, what should I drop ship? So there's a lot of things that you can drop ship. I talk about all the time in my videos how, I really like coming at it with a brand focus, building up a strong brand and coming at it from that mindset. So in a very soon future video, probably the next Shopify video we do, I'm going to actually cover how me and my friends and my successful students go forward and actually test products on AliExpress in a different way than most people do, to go ahead and find products that actually work within your brand and grow your brand and grow the strength of your brand, rather than just doing essentially what everybody else does. And this is where, I want to caution you if you're using spy tools. Spy tools can be great, but a big problem I've been seeing a lot of people do is they put way too much of an emphasis on spy tools, and it's all just essentially the whole, general store product store chasing down winning products all the time mindset. And when you're doing that, you're playing in the same exact way as thousands of other people trying to drop ship the same things. So that's where I want to caution you. You can use spy tools, but use it as more of a help rather than just trying to copy. Whenever you're trying to copy in this game, essentially you're chasing a little sliver of the pie, rather than what I like to do, where I create my own pie. Rather than just getting a small piece of the pie, I like to actually create the pie with great brands and great products. And so, that's where then I preach white labeling, private labeling. Those are definitely future videos down the line. But I want to caution you, when you're doing everything from the products you're testing to what you're actually drop shipping, what you're trying to drop ship, have a brand mindset, have a long-term mindset, and don't think essentially cheap Chinese crap. That's kind of the big thing here. Avoid the cheap Chinese crap. What would you as a customer actually want, and how would you want it positioned within a brand to where you would want to go ahead and buy into the brand itself, not just buy a product essentially. All right, guys, so be expecting that video where I actually talk about how to actually go through AliExpress and use AliExpress to find those decent and winning products that fit within your brand. And this is a strategy that, frankly, very few people use, which will put you guys ahead of the curve. So be expecting that video very soon. If you guys found any value in the video, please go ahead and smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment down below. What do you guys want to see next? I'm going to help you guys out with these kind of product research and testing videos, how I go through all of that. But what would you guys want to see next? I'd love to hear back from you guys. Connect with you. As always, keep grinding, y'all.